And so so anyway, it was getting kind of weird, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna try to outdo a comedian. I'm not a comedian. I'm not gonna make people laugh like him. He's good at what he does. So I just didn't really say anything. Whatever. And then there was a point where I realized we had a mutual friend, and so Corey and I talked. And Corey was like, "Well, we should talk about it online." And I said, "That's a great idea." And in my mind, I don't know what his plan was, but my plan was I want thousands of young black men to see what it looks like when two 50-year-old black men figure it out and work it out. And so we got on and he said, "Well, you did this and you did that." And I said, "Yeah, well, I maybe I did that, but here's some stuff that bothered me." And we talked it out and we walked away and we were friends. And that was my goal from the beginning. I was like, I'm not trying to fight this guy forever. There's no benefit to this. Right. So now Corey and I are friends. We don't see eye to eye on stuff. But if he comes into Chicago and he's having a show, I could call and say, "Hey Corey, can I get a ticket to your show, man?" And he would do that, right? So my point is to say that, and that this should be the goal in my opinion, right? You don't typically win if you create more enemies in your life. It's harder to build wealth if you're surrounded by a bunch of burnt bridges. I want you to really think about how often you see people that brag. They consider it a flex to talk about how many people they cut off in the previous year. They consider it a flex to talk about how quick they are to cut people off. Oh, if you do this and da da da, then I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you off. Well, I mean, you keep cutting stuff off, and you ain't gonna have nothing left. Because relationships and family units and teams and groups and clubs, that's how people establish power in society. The whole world, when it comes to economics, the whole world is gang affiliated. We've discussed this in class. We've broken this down. I told you, Apple is nothing but an economic gang. They're a $3 trillion economic gang. They follow the same code of conduct. They wear the same little logo on their shirt. They have a set of rules. If you violate the rules, then you're out of the gang. The Asian Pacific Union is an economic gang. The Chinese are big on being gang affiliated. If you go to China, they're very, very strict about being China first. And Nvidia is having trouble in China right now, mainly because the Chinese government has basically told all of their businesses, don't buy from Nvidia, you buy from us, buy from domestic chip manufacturers. So gang affiliation drives economics around the world. And one of the things that people have to understand is that if you have no gang, no group, no, you don't, no organ, no nobody that you're loyal to, nobody that you're connected to, it is much, much more difficult to build wealth because wealth typically flows through the development of organizations. So organization, in my view, means understanding what an organization is. If you look up the word organization or even corporation, one definition that's used in some managerial textbooks is that a corporation is a nexus of relationships, like a spider web. It's a nexus of relationships. When Disney makes $1 billion from a movie, there is no one guy who made the damn movie. There's not one guy who financed the movie, wrote the script, got all the actors on board, did all the animation, did all the AI, did all the marketing. There's no one guy that has ever made $1 billion Disney movie. There's thousands of people. There's a nexus of relationships that came together to create this thing, this $1 billion monstrosity. So relationships so never ever question or doubt the significance of relationship building and relationship maintenance as a critical aspect of building and protecting wealth. All right. So with that said, really quickly, don't forget that tonight we're doing our Powernomics training at 8:30. If you want to join that, make sure you're on the text list. Text the word morning to the phone number 87948. Just text morning to 87948.